kind of fall out of favor as well. It's not just because Zoo's such a powerful deck, but because against a lot of the aggressive builds, it just does not perform the same way it used to. You know, prior to this, they had Zombie Chow in the opening. Just that card alone was a way to win a game versus aggros, be able to open with turn 1 Zombie Chow and then stabilize the board pressure. Losing that single piece makes it so much more difficult.
Funny thing is, now the bans have sort of been nullified. They both took wins with that other deck, the opposite deck that they didn't ban from each other against the Reno Lock, and now we're sort of reset to a best of 3 with Reno Lock Control Warrior versus Reno Lock Control Warrior.
Yeah, here we go. This mirror match can get a little bit ugly at times. And Brian the Rat Quartet actually going to keep Big Game Hunter in his opening hand, and certainly thinking about Mountain Giant with that keep. Yeah. Shoop happens to have the other side of it, which is that Twilight Drake. Take a peek at Refreshment Vendor being in here as well. And this matchup, a lot of times you can kind of come down to who gets the board presence first and is able to apply that pressure and force Reno.
Yeah.
Or just, if Reno isn't there, just kind of die afterwards instead. And that's a pretty solid pickup from the Rat with that Mountain Giant. So he's going to have access to that on turn 4.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see.
It's going to match up quite nicely if against all this stuff. I mean, yeah, Imp Game Boss is cute and all. But take a look at this.
Shoop just rips Big Game Hunter right here.
That'd be quite unfortunate for the Rat.
Feeling it. Oh, just a Kodo. So that Twilight Drake will live through a shot as well. So eyeing that Siphon Soul, I imagine. Maybe just even use the Abuse Sergeant trade up here.
Mm-hmm.
The Rat, first one here with initiative. We'll see how he wants to play this. Not like the most comfortable spot. None of his plays look too appealing right now.
No, not at all.
I wonder.
He can Defender of Argus. Get a clean trade onto the Twilight Drake. You can also just Refreshment Vendor, push 8.
Yeah, I think I like the Defender, honestly. I mean, you float a mana this turn, you don't get the life tap, but being able to just kill Twilight Drake outright and then start getting immediate value out of your Mountain Giant is a pretty big deal. I mean, that was kind of one of the things you saw in this mirror match a lot back when it was like the handlock days. You very often saw Twilight Drake versus Mountain Giant. You would Defender of Argus the Mountain Giant just to run over the Twilight Drake and keep going. He's going to go with Spellbreaker and run it over instead. I'm a little surprised by that, but he's clearly valuing the Brand Defender of Argus to be a big board swing.
Yeah.
And not putting a lot of value on the Spellbreaker. I mean, so outside of Sylvanas, there's not really that many targets with this, other than the Twilight Drake.
Mm-hmm. But Shoop has a few options here. Abusive Sergeant will allow him to trade up into the Mountain Giant without using the Siphon Soul. And he can even dig a little bit with this Dark Peddler. Try and find some more answers. But it looks like Shadow Flame is going to be the play.
Yeah, I kind of like Shadow Flame a little bit more. Again, it's not really a card that's very strong in this matchup. He probably doesn't want to be taking more damage. Shoop very conscious of the fact that the life total matters a lot in this matchup, especially with the Reno. If he can force Alexstrasza and then follow it with Reno, and then maybe kill the Alexstrasza live and then follow it with Reno.
Mm-hmm. Probably just a tap Refreshment Vendor here. Trying to find another option. Maybe he doesn't feel like tapping is necessary because of his life total, but I feel like this is going to be the best time to do it because you're getting more value than you're giving to your opponent.
So Shoop, not quite enough pieces in hand to go ahead and use the Emperor yet. Wants to find Leroy and either Power Overwhelming or Faceless before he decides to play that Emperor down. So there's a Power Overwhelming. And so next turn, you're very likely to see Emperor Thaurissan.
Yeah.
Mortal Coil picked up here. This is a full clear option, but at what cost? I mean,
well,
I'm thinking about
Brand Defender. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking this is a lot better than the full clear option. Just build the board tension and let it go. I mean, your opponent's got take out the Refreshment Vendor in the backswing, but then you got a 4/6, and the Brand is again no slouch. This is like a card that you want to kill in this matchup.
Yeah.
wonder if this ever makes Shoop think about using the Ragnaros here instead, or maybe even the Siphon Soul.
He can Siphon Soul Power Overwhelming to trade up. He can also just Power Overwhelming plus Stampeding Kodo to take out the Bran and the Defender of Argus, but then the Refresher Vendor gets a pretty good trade onto a Stampeding Kodo.
Yeah, I think leaving the 2/3 out's probably not that big a deal this turn, and so I think his eye is... Oh, actually, he's going to go with Power Overwhelming. I'm a bit surprised by this, so... Does want to just keep pressure on board. Okay. I don't know. I mean, that was the Power Overwhelming... I'm sorry, that was the Dark Peddler Power Overwhelming, so he still does have access to the combo in his deck. And now the Rat's starting to put together some pieces as well, and Ragnaros is looking mighty fine on this board. I mean, is he thinking about Big Game Hunter, though? I mean, Shoop just drew it. So the Ragnaros actually would get shot down. I mean, he's got to consider Siphon Soul as well, but...
Yeah. He also got to be... Does he want... There's also a possibility to trade into the Stampeding Kodo, then heal back up Earthring Farseer, back up the Refreshment Vendor to try and keep it alive and make it so that Dark Peddler doesn't trade.
Yeah, that lets him life tap as well. I kind of like that plan a little bit better. It keeps you from being vulnerable to the tempo swings available from Siphon Soul and such. Looks like he's going for the clear option. Yep. And I think he could consider face here as well. This is going to take his value.
You have seen Shadow Flame, so that might give you a better option to clear. But now it's a tough choice, because if you play Rag or Twisting Nether, you don't get to tap, and there's a chance that this could whiff pretty heavily.
This is a big board swing. Oh, wow.
Man.
That's actually really dangerous for the Rat at this point, too. I mean, he's got the board under control, but 10 life is not comfortable. I mean, he's getting pretty close to the burst damage himself, but...
I mean, he's got 14 damage from hand, 8 on the board. He's got 22 damage.
Yeah, I wonder if this is just Ragnaros here instead.
That is risky. Risque.
I mean, the thing here is that he's got a lot of different ways to work with this. And Life Tap is his instinct, so I'm guessing with that instinct, he's not actually going to go with the risky play.
I mean, I think he's got pretty much everything he needs to win the game. I don't think he needs a Life Tap here.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I'm just going to pass it up. And Shoop has to take recognition of this. And he cannot Hellfire Reno this turn. Oh, if he Hellfires here, this is bad news. This could be a trap.
If he Hellfires, I think he's still okay. I mean, he goes down to 17.
Yeah, this is... I mean, the Bran here kind of protects from a Ragnaros shot. I mean, he's also pressuring himself, too. The Rat has to get lucky, I think, to win this game. This is looking terrifying for him.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Ragnaros shot went face is just giving Shoop so much control over how each one of his plays looks like a lethal setup.
So many possibilities.
Do you feel like you need a tap here as the Rat to try and get that Reno Jackson? Or you just go for Rag, hope it hits face, and then hope your opponent has no damage in their hand and try and win?
I think the look on his face and his body language kind of says it all.
Yeah.
I mean, great googly moogly. This is looking bad.
I mean, the legends say that Brian the Rat Cortez's walls change color with his moods, and they're starting to turn a little bit blue.
Legend says Power Overwhelming on Sylvanas will steal your opponent's minion. Legend holds up. And Shoop,
Shadowbolt picked up.
We're going to get a good glimpse of how Shoop feels about his position right now. If he chooses to life tap, he's going to keep himself vulnerable. If he chooses to use the Reno Jackson, obviously, I mean, it gets pressure on the board. I mean, I think I'm preferring the Reno here in every situation simply because of the amount of pressure it applies. I mean, you're watching the Rat not life tap right now. He's clearly afraid, and if your opponent has to keep answering every single minion you play, eventually one of them's going to get through.
Yeah.
So many possibilities.
I mean, maybe even just life tap Reno here. I mean, what is he fearing from the brand? I guess that's another question too. He's seen Defender of Argus on his own. He's seen Earthen Ring Farseer. The Emperor Thorson instead. So probably looking for like Siphon Soul Reno next turn.
Yeah. The rat knows now that there is no damage in the hand, or at least only Leroy. So, I mean, do you have to rag?
I don't know.
Oh man, this is one of the toughest situations to be in because you're dead so many times if you rag and miss the Emperor Thorsan. But then there could be a situation where he rags, hits face, Shoop whiffs on damage,
Oh my god!
and the rat wins.
From his perspective, anyway, we can see the Reno there.
Oh, if
my
he discards
gosh.
the Mortal Coil. Do Mortal Coil first to guarantee it. No, okay.
Well, this is going for
Oh,
lethal.
one turn!
Wow!
Oh man. Shoop. I mean, can
can't
Shoop
win this turn unless he does perfectly in life taps.
Oh. I mean, he can afford to life tap because he's got Reno Jackson.
You don't life tap. You Reno, you big game hunter, you put the pressure on the rat again,
Fine.
make him drop perfect. TJ wants to just go all in. Now the rat, I mean, he's kind of held to one play instead. I mean, having the Emperor on the turn Shoop did, this is kind of really great foresight from him, understanding that this play alone is going to force the rat to have a giant play here.
I wonder.
Wow.
All right, boys, let's start the game over.
We both start with Reno Jackson. Go. And 10 mana. This is like a brawl. Both players start with a 4-6 and 10 mana.
In a
Well, that's
hodgepodge
two.
of cards.
That's 2 combo pieces now. And that ooze, you just saw Hellfires. That's coming down for sure.
11 cards remaining for Shoop. 10 cards remaining for the rat. So Shoop slightly ahead in fatigue and slightly ahead on this board. It's like these guys are matching each other.
Yeah, that's a nice draw there, too. It'd be easy Shadow Flame, not giving up much. Looks like he just wants to Emperor instead, though. I mean, 2 combo pieces in hand. This is kind of like when you decide to Emperor.
Yeah.
But does he want to try to get more value out of it? You know, if he just goes for Acidic Swamp Ooze and Shadow Flame, Shoop's going to have to get a minion down if he wants to answer the Emperor or actually draw an answer to it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, this isn't this turn he's thinking about. He's thinking about the next 2 or 3 turns. Like, what's the best way to get pressure rolling and put Shoop on the defensive here?
Almost out of time.
Twilight Drake it is. And Acidic Swamp Ooze. I guess he wants that Emperor Thorsan to stick.
Hopefully so. Demon Rat's pretty darn dead right here.
Professional Defender's a body. Let the bodies hit the board.
It'll eventually happen. I mean, Shoop is they're both really light on stuff right now, which is kind of interesting. Because I think both of them are overvaluing what their opponent's hand range is at the moment.
Funnel cakes. Get your funnel cakes here.
Well, maybe not from Shoop. Shoop's just going to start going dome. He goes, yeah, here you go. You figure it
Heal him
out.
for 4, hit him for 7. Net gain 3.
Yeah, Emperor Thorson. I imagine this is going to be Twilight Drake trade into the Refreshment Vendor Shadow Flame on the Ooze after it hits face.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be almost certainly Twisting Nether from Shoop at that point. The board keeps getting reset, but Shoop has bought himself a little bit of extra damage here. They both have 2 combo pieces. I mean, this is just kind of like a race for the right cards.
Let's see if Shoop can find something that's gonna pair with this Twisting Nether. And Mountain Giant's not it, but Mountain Giant will be a great drop for the next turn. And maybe you think about dropping the Mountain Giant now. You've seen Big Game Hunter. You have not seen Siphon Soul. If you let this damage get in, that's 9 damage. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, if he had one more point of view, if the rat was at 20 instead of 21, I think he might actually go for the Mountain Giant because the Mountain Giant plus Leroy Power Overwhelming would represent lethal. He's actually going to go for it anyway, so this is... I mean, I don't mind playing the 8-8 here. It's, you know, it's if your opponent doesn't have an immediate answer to it, it's pretty tough for them to...
Wait, if he finds Power Overwhelming, he wins. Ooh.
Yeah, you were right. That'd have been 20 from hand. Wow. Very close to ending. Dark
And
Peddler.
Shoop realizes, he puts his hands on his head, he's like, oh no. What have I done? I've shooped the whoop.
Shoot that oop. Shoot that oop, that oop, that oop. Who was that written by?
Shoop.
What? Jeez. Yes, it was written by Shoop.
I don't know.
As,
Some
as, a,
hipster.
as a toddler. Some hipster.
Almost out of time.
Just everyone's a hipster today, according to TJ.
Well, after Shoop sees that, he's going to go all in. I don't know if I like this Faceless Manipulator. There goes his win condition.
I think the rat read this as he doesn't have Twisting Nether. I mean, the last turn's Twisting Nether looked so good. And now that Shoop's seen Faceless Manipulator, he can feel so much more comfortable tapping.
Yeah. I mean, when else are you going to get a better Twisting Nether?
You're probably not. It's going to be hard. I mean, both Ragnaros have been used on each side. Oh, and there's Faceless Manipulator. That's 20 from hand.
Well, no, not quite.
Oh, he doesn't have the mana. And the Emperor's been used. Oh, you're right.
Oh, baby, a triple.
It's representing 14 from hand.
But that's not 15, which is what Shoop's at. That's a lot of damage. That's 14 from hand. But again, both players are going to be slightly off. Holy moly. Say Shoop Alex Straza's this turn, it's going to be the Alex Straza off.
Well, hang on a second. Could he faceless the... I don't know what's going on. I guess we're going to find out. Shoop... Is he clearing? He's clearing.
With Demon Wrath. Whoa.
Shoop
Bold
thinks
move.
he thinks he can win this game from this position. I guess I don't really blame him. I mean, the tools... When one player decides to use a tool outside a combo and kind of put their opponent in an awkward spot, it's kind of what both players start doing at that point. And so the rat... This is where deck size starts to matter. Now that combo damage has kind of been obliterated for both players. Yeah, just Leroy and
Kodo.
Yeah, this is actually really smart here from the rat, too. Because that means this Leroy is threatening to connect again. Oh, wow.
Oh, but
Now, does he want to draw? That's the question here. So the deck sizes do matter considerably.
I think he has 4 cards. I have 3 cards remaining. And 3 for the rat as well. So they're evened up now. We have equalized the card total.
Yeah, he doesn't want to draw. I think this is wise. And Alex draws himself. I mean, how on earth does the rat deal with this?
Heal for 6 or deal 4.
Oh, heal
he's
for
got
6
lethal
easily.
next turn. If he Alex draws his opponent's face.
Yeah, I think you heal.
I bring life.
You know, if this runs into resistance, you're going to really be regretting not taking your 6 life there. And indeed, it would have run into resistance.
I mean, I think Shoop has this. He's lower on life, but I feel like the quality of cards in his hand are slightly better. Just because he has Burn. Just because he has Soulfire and Power Overwhelming left over.
Yeah, the Rat trying to figure out if there's anything left in the deck to make the push with. Is it worth life tapping at this point? You know, maybe also considering, is it worth just going face?
You can only push 5 damage this turn, and you'd only have 7 damage on board after it was all said and done. I mean, he's seen Leroy Jenkins, so...
It's do or die time. A decision needs to be made at this point. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Old call pays off.
What a draw. Here we go. 5 to the dome. Shoop's down to 10. No damage in hand for the Rat. And Shoop draws Earthen Ring Farseer. And it's kind of an ugly spot because nothing on his board lives. Everything's going to get challenged.
So many possibilities.
That Savintel changed everything. Faceless Manipulator on a Stampeding Kodo. How often does that happen? And the last card is Ascension Shieldmaster.
Yeah, but now he's going into that fatigue spot. And he does have the damage lead, but...
He wins next turn.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's just a lot of damage.
What is Shoop's last card is the big thing. Is it a Hellfire?
Many possibilities.
No, he's already used Hellfire this game. Yeah, so here we go. Shoop set to 8.
Defender of Argus.
That is serious.
Oh. Oh, he's actually got 2 cards remaining. Okay, so Shoop's actually ahead on card count. Because of that tap for the Siphon Soul, that's right.
Power Overwhelming. I'm a little surprised by that.
He's going to silence it.
Oh, this is a great call. Wow, great spot here by Shoop. I was not seeing that play. And this Defender of Argus is going to shut down the Rat.
Oh, man.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's actually, he has no way to push through all this entire board. And Shoop going to go ahead and Soulfire this Endgame boss just to ensure that his minions continue to live through this. He's got 1 more card left. The Rat goes into fatigue. Immediate trade-off with the most power on board. And says go ahead. The Shoop does not have to touch that 2-1 the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's it. He can't win. And Shoop finds a way. Takes the win. Goes up 2-1. And wow, brutal game for the Rat. And I mean, if the legend did hold true, that wall would be blood red.
That was just a great spot from Shoop at the end. I mean, honestly, when the combo got broken up and they kind of got